I caught an early screening of this last night at the Alamo Drafthouse. Before I forget, sometimes at these early screenings, Alamo will have little movie promo items. This might be one of the coolest ones I've ever gotten. It's a whole ass inner tube promoting the movie. Has the logo on the side, Alamo Drafthouse, has the cup holder, headrest, and everything. I could understand doing like a small flotation device of some sort, but to do an actual full-size one is pretty awesome. And stick around to the end of the video. Stick around to the end of the video because I'll tell you how you can win one. I picked up an extra, and because you're watching on YouTube, there's a chance to get bonus entries, so stay tuned. So, Dangerous Animals, the latest movie from Sean Byrne. You may remember him from The Loved Ones, one of my favorite horror movies, kind of often gets overlooked, and 2015's The Devil's Candy. I just saw that one for the first time like a year ago, and I was sort of kicking myself for skipping it because I quite enjoyed that movie. Sean's movies always pull no punches. He's not afraid to lean into the extreme side of things when it comes to horror. And I guess that explains some of my disappointment with this movie. So this was a mixed bag for me. There's a lot of things I really enjoy about this movie, but then there's a lot of things that I'm like, But despite all that, this is a fun-ass packed theater watch. It plays very well on the big screen. And the screening I went to did have a live stream Q&A with Sean and actor Jai Courtney, who plays the villain in the movie, Tucker. Sean said that he got the idea for this movie sort of as a response to Jaws in a way. Kind of like how Jaws endangered a lot of sharks. With this movie, while sharks are definitely a viable threat, the biggest threat is Tucker. So the humans are the enemy here.
You know, the monster wasn't the shark, the monster was man, and a masterpiece that Jaws is. I think it sort of did a great disservice to the shark in many ways, and the filmmakers openly kind of admit that because it was such a successful formula, and Hollywood being Hollywood, it was just kind of copied. And so that's right. I fell in love with it instantly, and it was just an easy yes. But I think for Nick, it was like, you know, there was an article written about the Shallows, and which is, you know, really super fun film. So it's nothing against the Shallows, but it was like, how many more times can the shark just be an indiscriminate killer, and it's now an endangered species, and this kind of has to stop. Like, there has to be another way into a shark film, and that's kind of when, you know, Nick said Captain Tucker was born.
Right off the bat, I gotta say that this movie is beautifully shot. The cinematography is great. All these Australian beaches, oftentimes at sunrise or sunset. Lots of wide sweeping shots of the skyline with this boat in the water. Visually, everything looks great. Lots of high contrast blues, heavy saturation, just the kind of style of filmmaking that I like. Also, the role of Tucker, played by Jai Courtney, is such an interesting character. It was a very refreshing concept for a horror movie. A guy kidnapping people, bringing them onto his shark diving expedition boat, and then murdering them via sharks while filming it. I've seen a lot of people compare this to Wolf Creek, and I'm not gonna lie, I did too. Charismatic Australian villain lures in unsuspecting victims.
What do you actually do now?
Oh, I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
I gotta say, I like Wolf Creek much more. I think that's a better movie. But if you like that, I could see you liking this one also. It's kind of Wolf Creek mixed with a little Deep Blue Sea meets Creep.
Great. Well, I look forward to meeting you. Okay. All right, see you tomorrow, buddy.
So I guess it's Wolf Creek. For a low budget, this is a very ambitious movie. I mean, filming on the water is not easy, and Sean even talked about that in the Q&A.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just has to kind of, you know, it's it's like you say, it's a team sport, and but it was really hard. I mean, it's a really physically grueling shoot. Hassie was in the water. It was the middle of the Australian winter. It's like her temperature was kind of plummeting, so we had to monitor that. And I'd never seen that silver blanket that comes out in movies all the time until that actually came out on set. And I was like, wow, that thing's actually sort of real.
Yeah, her lips are like blue, like we're like getting into proper, welfare management kind of situations. No, at certain points, and even with the stunts, you get anyone wet Australia's winters aren't that harsh comparatively to this part of the world, but shooting all night and getting in and out and dunked and dried off and also like playing those stakes constantly where you're in fear of your life, or it's like, she's in full survival mode. It's just, it's an exhausting, unglamorous day of work, and she did about, 50 of them.
Yeah, I could see this being a grueling shoot. Biggest gripes with this movie, I wasn't crazy about the small cast that we had, other than Jai Courtney. He was great, but our two leads, Hassie Harrison, who plays Zephyr, she's kind of this rebellious surfer that lives in a van, likes to kind of drop her surface level philosophies on life on people, and it's a little cringe. Like, some of the writing in here is not that great. And her love interest, this guy she meets, Moses, played by Josh Houston, he was just okay. I think both of them kind of lacked a little bit of charisma, especially when they're playing off of someone as charismatic as Jai Courtney. Other than those three, there's a couple, 2 or 3 minor characters, but this is a very small cast. So I feel like if you're working with such a small cast, I just think there could have been some better choices. Like I said, some of the writing is a little hokey. There's some kind of cheesy one-liners that made me go, ugh. But even with all that said, the performance by Jai Courtney is so strong, and I love this villain. I love the setting. I love the way it's shot. All of that outweighs the bad. So I would recommend this movie. I think I'm sitting at a solid 3 out of 5 stars. That's not a bad thing. I just wish with all the things they got right in this movie, there was so much potential to like really take it to that next level, but it never really gets there. The director's previous movies that aren't afraid to go there, this movie could have been a lot meaner. Like, it tiptoes up to the line of crossing into like brutal nihilistic territory, and then it takes a step back, and it's like, nah, just go there. Things get kind of tied up a little too neatly, and I just thought that they could have turned this into more of a bloodbath. I mean, when you look at a movie like Wolf Creek, which is sort of a dark, the bad guy wins kind of ending, I wanted it to go there. I think it would have benefited the movie. And I don't want to sound too harsh on the acting performances. Zephyr, played by Hassie Harrison, that's a grueling shoot to pull off such an emotional performance while being physically demanding. There was even a shark attack on set.
No, like something's gone down. Anyway, came up to me, Matt Enfield was his name, he said, "We just had a marine life incident." And I was like, okay. One of our safety divers who was on a sled behind a jet ski, managing the waters because there's cast in the water, one of our safety divers was pulled under by a bull shark. He grabbed a hold of his fin on his foot and pulled him off the sled and snapped the fin off his foot and was gone into the darkness. And this dude, suffice to say, had to take a couple of weeks off work. Pretty shaken up. It completely changed the way we had to shoot the movie because the insurance companies don't want to know about something like this happening. And it was all a little too close for comfort. And like hilariously ironic, but also, you know, it was the running joke up until the point when that actually happened. Thank God he wasn't hurt. But yeah, they're out there for sure.
Baby Shark even makes its way into this movie. Jai Courtney sings Baby Shark.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do do do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, baby shark.
Which surprisingly was free to use. It's basically copyright free. So, do I recommend going to see this in the theaters? Yeah, I do. It's a pretty fun movie. Watch it with a packed audience. It's a great kind of popcorn horror thriller, which was kind of my problem with it. It leans a little too much into popcorn horror, for a lack of a better term. I will certainly stay aware of what Sean Byrne does next. He doesn't really miss. I like all of his movies. I had no idea that he directed The Loved Ones and The Devil's Candy, but I was like, man, this guy has pretty damn good track record. Back to the inner tube. So I did pick up 2 of these. As you can see, these are massive. This looks insane, but I do have another one of these still in the packaging. So if you want to enter the contest to win this, comment your Instagram handle down below. In a couple of days, maybe a day or 2 after this comes out, I'm going to do an Instagram giveaway. But if you comment your Instagram down below, you'll be entered twice into the drawing, which will happen at a later date. And I will ship this awesome thing to you free of charge, so you can look just as ridiculous as me. So yeah, comment your Instagram handle down below. I will make a note of it, and you will be entered twice into the drawing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go see Dangerous Animals. I'm not saying that it's like, you know, 5 out of 5 amazing movie, but it's damn fun. It's great to have another good shark attack movie. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. That's going to do it for this review, but I will catch you next time.